Alright guys, welcome back. Currently the score is 4-3. We're almost at 9 games. This is game 8. The only map left lying await is the wild card of Zephyr Jungle, but we'll see if it even goes to that. Spawn here in the top right corner of the map, spelling his name backwards but playing for Quantic Gaming. I believe he's also the captain of the A team. It is HWANGSIN, the Blue Protoss.
Yes, he is. Pretty funny guy. I had a stint with Quantic Gaming. Pretty cool guy as well. Haven't really seen too much of him lately, so it'll be interesting. His opponent, of course, in the bottom left position, the man that's trying to make it happen, who pretty much said from the start that he wants Hyun. Will he be able to get him? From Root Gaming, it is puCK.
Now, they did get cross spawns on Red City. This might not seem like a big deal to everybody, but this is probably the most fair this map's going to get. Now, in a PvP matchup, horizontal versus vertical spawns, it's not broken to the point where GG from the get-go, but, you know, any map, typically, if it's cross spawns, it's going to be the best map, or the best way you can play that map.
Yeah, it's one of the weird things about this map is because it's so huge, you kind of look at the spawn locations and you're like, well, none of them are really favorable for any other one, but when you really think about it, if you were to spawn, say, the horizontally, imagine HWANGSIN's in the bottom right. If puCK tries to approach his base, he has that high ground advantage, which is actually really sick when they're coming in from the left side of your main.
Yeah, put a couple of mortals up there. I mean, forget about stalkers coming in.
Yeah, it's easy peasy. You can even put a ninja sentry to force field there, so you do have a very good point about the spawn locations. Of course, this makes things like approaching puCK's base from the top a bit difficult, approaching HWANGSIN's base from the bottom hard as well, but the beauty of Cross is they can just go straight through those ramps. And I'm actually interested to see if we'll have any employment of the cliff areas by the natural expansion for something cool like Warp Prism drops or something like that.
Warp Prism drops would be cool, and I think, you know, they're really effective in PvT, but you don't get a lot of, like, I remember in Wings of Liberty, you'd see them like a good 1 every 5 games in PvP, but I feel like we just don't see Warp Prism Immortals anymore. And there's, like, whether they're good or not, they're cool to watch.
Yeah, it's one of the #1 things that I actually miss from Wings of Liberty was Immortal drops. No, almost nobody does that anymore. So cool. It's like kind of like the shotgun, the Protoss shotgun.
Yeah, it's silly that you say it, but that is actually the perfect analogy to it. I feel bad for everyone who's never seen that doesn't get the reference, but man, Immortals pack a punch on everything they hit, whether it's armored or not.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. puCK is putting a lot of chrono boost onto this warp gate. I wonder if we're gonna see something like just a straight up 3 or 4 gateway.
It's gonna be 4 gates. Oh, HWANGSIN, did he? Oh, he just barely missed it.
He just missed it.
Oh no, this is terrible for HWANGSIN. This is, if he had seen those gates, he may have even forced puCK to cancel them. puCK may have even not even just invested into them. I don't know, but not seeing those gateways was huge. Now, if HWANGSIN is a smart guy and he saw a lot of chronos going down on the Cybercore, maybe, just maybe, he'll have some inkling of a clue this is coming, but unlikely.
So this is really weird because HWANGSIN's going for 3 gate. And he has a sentry in his mothership core. So it's going to be raw unit count versus a bit of tech play. Because HWANGSIN does have the force fields available.
That is a sexy pylon. Sorry to interrupt, but like, that is going to be really nice.
A cliff was used. I'm satisfied.
Yo, I don't know about you. I love proxy widow mining from up there because it should be the obvious scout path, but Protoss never do.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
Well, here come a lot of stalkers. Now, the sentries can buy some time with this, but that's all they can really do is he can't really shut down this push. Now, sadly for puCK, he can't break the force fields anytime soon.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing about this 3-gate play because puCK has the faster...
Oh, he got some high ground vision, though.
Look at Zealot. Oh, he tried to go for the healthiest sentry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. Sentry has low health, but it has a lot of energy.
Well,
so.
Was the healthiest sentry, but no longer.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of weird how you define healthy. He has a lot of energy. I guess you could be.
They're not even. They're like robots, right? So like they don't even really. It's not. I don't know how you would gauge that. It's not like they get chicken pox and are sick.
I feel like a robot having energy would be important. But how do you feel about this? He's going for a dark shrine, and he's going straight for a robotics facility. It's kind of weird. His builds are going to line up pretty pretty well against you. I guess puCK just goes for a contain at this point with the sentry.
Yeah, and I think the big thing about going for the robo, I mean, it's not like Immortals break those force fields, but the Observers give him the high ground vision where he can start sniping things off. And sadly, for HWANGSIN, the Observer will also work to counter the DTs. And HWANGSIN has no actual pylons outside of his base, so warping in something. Well, actually, oh, the bottom of that cliff. There's no. That reaches? Man, Protoss is so broken. That's actually really cool, because now the Dark Templar can actually be warped outside of the base, and puCK may never see this coming.
Yeah, this is awesome. That's so cool that he's so well hidden. Of course, he'll have to travel across the whole map, and we have an observer on the way, but no units are there.
And there's been no tell. There's been no give that HWANGSIN is going for Dark Shrine. puCK would have to have the best intuition in the universe, and honestly, he's a player who would, to know that this is coming, but it's one of those things that, again, possible but unlikely.
Yeah, it's weird. But important to note, HWANGSIN, of course, has the blink going as well, which is quite useful. But look at this. He's actually got these 3 zealots now running into the main base of puCK, and he's going to basically be like, okay, you've got units here. I guess I can't do anything. The first Dark Templar is being sent across the field, but puCK... yeah, puCK's got the Observer and enough units to kill this DT off with absolutely no trouble whatsoever, and even gets in with a hallucinated Phoenix to scout everything.
Oh, we saw the Dark Shrine. Yeah, that's going to be really good for him. And, of course, his Nexus is up earlier than his opponent. So, right now, this isn't a massive lead, but this can grow into one pretty quickly. This is going to kind of force HWANGSIN to have to do a little bit of damage. Investing in a combination of Dark Templar and a much later Nexus, you know you're in a position where you are behind.
Yeah, it's weird. But I feel like this, like you said, this is a good position for puCK with this Nexus. And, I mean, you know, there's the Immortals here, the Observers here, DT, completely useless. I wonder if we'll see... There's actually no probe with this. He can't get reinforcements here. Yeah,
this would be a very awkward all-in situation. I guess the one thing about the Dark Templar too is if you can't utilize them, worst case scenario, he makes Archons and something he can break his opponent's force fields. But puCK's not going to be relying on force fields. He's got a lot of things that aren't sentries on the field.
Yeah, I think we've seen puCK kind of say, you know what, I like my Stalker micro even without blink in this stage, and yeah, he's been relying on his regular unit micro, not even so much the force fields, but. Charge is on the way for HWANGSIN. I feel like this is a fast charge for 2-base play like this.
It's kind of like going to charge that Archon, I guess. I mean, I don't know if he'll go with the Archon portion of this, but he's got the weapon upgrades on the way. And, like, against Zerg, this would be a good response to the DTs doing no damage, but against Protoss, it's not the same situation.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The force fields can actually do pretty well versus Zealots. If the charge lots get close enough to break force fields, I mean, if Archons get close enough to break force fields, you're taking a lot of damage on those units before they can really do much of anything. And when you lead with them, then they don't have the Zealots to tank for them so that they can do their damage. But it does seem to be at least part of his plan. He has a lot of Zealots here, and there's the Templar Archives. So I am really curious as to where he wants to go with this. I think he kind of knows that puCK doesn't want to go for Colossi.
You know, I'm really curious too. Another factor into this that was actually mentioned to me here on Skype just moments ago that I didn't think about is like both of these players are contending for things like WCS and bigger tournaments. Are they willing to go full on super out to win this? And I got to tell you, puCK, I know he's so competitive. I think he absolutely would reveal any build necessary to win. HWANGSIN, though, I'm not so sure about. He might be more reserved, and that might be why we're seeing a bit of a, I guess, the awkward build out of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I would be perfectly honest. I think he's just kind of winging it at this point because the DT attack didn't do much.
Yeah.
But this game is you know what? This whole best of 9 has actually been pretty funky.
Well, Venus started it off so unexpectedly.
With, you know, the proxy gateways left and right, and now we're seeing, you know, these interesting, very interesting plays. But
you know, well, yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking back at this. Like, honestly, I would have seen this like. When it got to 4 games for one team, I thought it would have been like 4-3 or 4-2. But we got to 4-0, and then puCK pulls us back in the last 3 games. I mean, this has been a great series that I highly encourage. If you guys haven't, if you just tuned in recently, go back, watch the VODs, because really unexpected games leading to where we are now.
Yeah, it's been actually really crazy. And here are those Archons that you mentioned coming in now.
See if they can work. Again, this is a very This isn't a bad unit composition, don't get me wrong, guys, but it is certainly awkward. This isn't your standard Protoss build where you hold off a 4-gate, respond with DTs, and then transition into charge lot Archon. Like, that is not nothing close to normal.
Yeah, it doesn't really happen that often. puCK's got a big army moving out. The DT for HWANGSIN actually see... Oh, those units moving out. Yeah, the observer puCK saw it. So kills that off. 5 Immortals. Honestly, not the greatest things ever versus Charge Lot Archon. So this is...
HWANGSIN is getting in here with 5 Stalkers that shouldn't get in here. I think you only need 4 to one-shot the probes, and puCK's going to take a lot of unnecessary damage. This is just the inconvenience of him moving out as HWANGSIN was moving a strike force across the map.
Yeah, really nice timing. And,
double overcharge,
double photon overcharge.
Oh, but the dead zone. Oh, that's so... What did I say earlier? Right, man, Protoss is a broken race? Yeah, that...
Oh, man.
Well, of course, in a PvP, we all know they have a 100% win rate. It's really unfair, but still, nonetheless, this is puCK can't really come back home. These 4 Stalkers are going to be really irritating because he's got to warp in offensively. He can't warp in defensively.
Yeah, and he has the Warp Prism in the main base as well. So he's got lots of options, and now he's going to press into the natural.
Force fields go down, but not going to matter.
And the Archon shatter those. These Immortals not really able to get close enough to do any crazy damage, but puCK, his supply dropping pretty quickly. HWANGSIN has a nice lead here. His Archons are pressing through. These Immortals, not the best versus Charge Lot Archon, but it's getting more and more close. The Stalker's still doing damage. The natural, though.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. puCK could not afford to donate any resources to warp in home. He's lost a ton of probes behind this. 11 workers have been killed. And while that doesn't put him out of the game, it definitely is not something he wanted to have to deal with. And there we go, warping in. Here, the main still... Oh, these Zealots are doing so much. And puCK's had to warp in a lot home, which means he's got nothing offensive and he's pulling his army back.
Yeah, especially without the Mothership Core with his army. He can't recall back to do anything. And look at this. The 3rd base is done for HWANGSIN. He is in such a good spot. Yeah, the Charge Lot Archon was so good for that defensive play earlier on, you know, to hold that attack. But
did you see that Zealot charge across like a quarter of the map?
Yeah, Zealots are weird.
Dude, that is... Oh, I love when the game does stuff like that.
Those Immortals are trying to catch him off here. Picks off 1, 2, and nope. He blinks away. He lives to die another day.
But yeah, you know, I think puCK, it's really weird. He saw the Dark Shrine. I'm surprised he wasn't expecting those Archons, because with the heavy Immortal account he has, it really felt like puCK was expecting his opponent to have a ton of Stalkers on the field. But as we saw, that wasn't the case, and the Immortals, while they do still pack a punch, they don't exactly have fast DPS, so the Archons can take those hits.
No, and puCK's going to try to take a 3rd base. HWANGSIN immediately sees it, but this is one of those situations where getting the 3rd so fast for HWANGSIN, I think, allows him to pretty much just throw down a ton of units and just try to go across the field. He can now leapfrog off of his economic advantage, basically to just jump into a supercharged 3-base timing attack while puCK tries to get his 3rd.
You know, awkward is as awkward does the thing. So I want to point out, puCK is actually going for Dark Templar as well, and both players have their observers with the armies, so if puCK can sneak some around, maybe he'll get that nice behind-the-scenes damage, but right now, this army coming at him...
It's puCK's observer over HWANGSIN's army. HWANGSIN, he doesn't have any... Yeah, he doesn't actually have any observers with his force. Where is HWANGSIN's observer? I feel like he did have one.
There's one at his 4th and one at his 3rd.
Yeah, one at his 4th and his 3rd. So he has it defensively set up. The one at the 3rd, not terribly useful,
but this
since is the cannon there, but...
Still, this is 5 Archons coming in here. This is going to be... puCK can't send his Zealots in first. If he does, they're going to get taken out really quickly. The Immortals are going to be forced to kind of take a lot of this damage. Dark Templar are here on the front lines.
The recall! I like it. He basically said, okay, I can't take that. And you know what? Even without the observer with his army, that's one of those situations where if you commit to that, the DTs just kill... You'll trade evenly, but the DTs will kill so much. And HWANGSIN just like, nope, I'll take a 4th base, no problem. I do wish, though, if he picked a different angle to pick off the 3rd base of puCK would have been so much more damaging.
And let's not forget, if he knocks down the rocks beforehand, he's got 2 different paths to retreat out of if he gets caught. But, you know, the Dark Templar, I wonder, with their high damage amount, they probably do more to Archons than the Immortals do, which is kind of a weird thing to consider.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even...
Man, breaking these Archons is not going to be easy, though. Both players coming up on level 3 weapons. Sorry, gotta get used to those new upgrade colors, but You know, HWANGSIN's making that swap for the late game. He's looking towards Colossus. puCK is not. And maybe if puCK can blitz through this, he can get around the Colossus. But 3 bases to 4 when it comes to Colossus versus no Colossus, HWANGSIN is looking to take the late game without any real opposition.
Yeah, and look at this. We have more Zealots being sent into attack. He's trying to bait the army out, but puCK has been the most difficult person to bait.
Big warp in here to the main as well, Nathanius.
That Warp Prism's, God, that thing's still alive, and now the cannon's taking some damage.
puCK's trying to gauge the army head on. I mean, he's getting
using
hit.
DTs defensively as well.
puCK is getting hit on every front, essentially, for a moment there, and that was really rough, but we'll see him hold it once more. But that Warp Prism, man, it's not done yet. It's coming into the natural. Such a big warp in, hitting the third base. puCK is going to lose one, if not both, of his bases.
Yeah, and there he goes. He kills it in recall. Such a good play. His observers get left behind, though.
I feel like HWANGSIN is like super trolly almost. Like, that was just nasty to watch. And puCK, he's got
and
no
the Zealots
response.
in the natural.
They're still not cleaned up, and puCK doesn't look like he's going home just yet. He's pulled the probes, but he can't afford to lose this Nexus.
Yeah, and HWANGSIN's gonna take. I think that natural Nexus is as good as dead. The main base, the Templar Archives, is destroyed. The Zealots are going to town, but a 4-base HWANGSIN versus a, well, pretty much as a 1-base puCK, and by 1 base I mean there's no minerals left in the main.
And puCK had a Warp Prism over that third base, but it just got sniped off by the cannon, so no chance for counter aggression. Splitting his forces desperately, I might add.
He's warping Archons in puCK's main.
Are you kidding me? Where is it? Oh my god, and that's 4 of them, dude, just popping out. This is...
You can't warp in Zealots to deal with this.
And another recall goes off. HWANGSIN, so mean. Wants to pay puCK back for losing that show match like a month and a half, 2 months ago. And looks like he might just do it. And if he does, guys, this is going to be it. I mean, what a... Dark Templar actually dealing well with the Archons in the main. But again, puCK has suffered so much damage. No natural base. Third base still not up. And HWANGSIN
and that Warp Prism's still alive.
Oh god, is he still... Oh my god. This is the most special tactic. This is the White Warp Prism. Good game is called. And Quantic Gaming will take a 5-3 victory over Roots.
Yeah, you know what? Great series of matches. puCK did everything possible to bring this back, but unfortunately, it was just it was too heavy to carry all the way.
He is one man. So guys, don't go anywhere just yet. We're gonna see if we can get anyone on for interviews. Again, this is nothing guaranteed. I don't really know if this is gonna happen or not, but one thing you can expect for the Showcraft TV show matches that are coming up, so when it's just one player versus one player, not a whole team versus another team, we do plan to have interviews featured around that. It's not on Team Liquid yet, but the next one to be announced on September 13th. We have Hendralisk versus Dragon, and they will actually do interviews after it's over. I believe it's a $200 show match, so I hope you guys will tune in for that. It's another late night Friday one, September 13th, that is. But let's see if anything's going on with this. In the meantime, on behalf of Showcraft TV, we're going to run a couple more ads, so please don't go anywhere, guys. We'll let you know once the ads are done, if there will be any interviews or not. Alright, ads are running, but people are still watching. I got to go figure out what's going on here.
Alright.
I got to message Skype, actually, so wait.